Okay, this section is how to handle a walk-on shooter. Of course, down here you would add the shooter down. Let's see, his first name is an APA or a USPSA number. Who knows? He's shooting open. His class is D. He's shooting major. He's not squatted. He's a walk-on. So you would register him just like you would other except for you to do that. It gives him a unique ID, and you're going to have to register him in every device that it goes to. Okay, so if you got 3 devices, 3 squads, and he's moving from squad to squad. It's usually for a late guy who's trying to catch up with a squad he's supposed to be in. It wasn't registered. So he would be able to shoot stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 as soon as he got there, and then would do the rest with his regular squad. So his squad shot the 3 stages already and needs to catch up. That's what a walk-on is for. Yeah, you just make sure the little green button is turned on there. One of the important things on a walk-on is when you put him in every device, you'll need to make sure and spell his name the exact same way, his ID or his USPSA number. Everything needs to be exactly the same. If you're going to use a capital letter on his first name, and his capital letter on his first name on everything. Otherwise, what happens when you sync it all together, it will have 15 or 3 or 4, depending on how many devices and stages, Magpul. So you have Magpul 1, Magpul 2, Magpul 3, Magpul 4. And when you get them all synced together, we go back and put his name exactly right. Practiscore will ask you if you want to merge them together, and you just hit yes, and it'll merge all of those scores into one score. So you have to try and set that up. Alright, so you've done a walk-on on both of these iPads, and you've gone all the way around your match and put the walk-on guy in there, and you end up seeing that you got 2 reporters in open. Well, it's likely you either misspelled the name, you hadn't capitalized one of the deals, it's got to be exactly alike, or the USPSA number is wrong. As in this example, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And in this one, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. You hit the wrong button. So I have 2 shooters. Then it treats it like 2 different shooters. Now if I go back in here, they're both walk-ons, both checked. If I go back in here and I correct that to 5 and go in, it's going to ask me about this unique ID collision. I'll hold this closer to the camera. You can read it a little better. So the shooter entry now, there has the same unique identifier as another shooter, or meant to be the same shooter entry. You may either merge this shooter entry with the matching one or cancel, and your last change, merge into, will combine the shooters, including any scores, into one shooter. So you just type merge, and you notice that now you have one shooter. So, with all the scores on that one particular shooter there. You view results and then the match scores, and then by division, you only have 1, where before you would have had 2. It's pretty simple, really. But you got to make sure and get everything right. A little troubleshooting going on here. So you're at this deal, and then you realize that this is not the score, not the guy you're supposed to be scoring. You can touch this, and it says score history action for 26-3-27 at this particular time. Reassign this score. So I can reassign this score to this gentleman on stage 1. So give the score for Porter Robber on stage 1 to Bill Poor on stage and say, do you want to proceed? So do it. So now if you'll see the approved score, Bill actually has the same score as I do. And then we'll go to edit score. It's my turn, so we got the wrong guy on there. And then we'll just do the tap over the new stuff, okay? Like that. Pretty easy. We want to make sure we do the targets the same way. Say the targets are ready, but that's not necessarily the right ones. Just clear all the rows, then go back in and go put the new targets in there. Keeps you from having to, you can transfer scores easily that way. So you get the wrong person instead of having to write it all down and put it all over and then redo the other one. If you catch it early enough, that works really, really well. So. Okay, here's an interesting deal. You so notice that it has Bobby Bullets 2, Gary Griphard 1 on there. If you touch the screen, I didn't put them in that way. But you do notice that their USPSA number is the same. It's all X's. So if I go in here, and it's one of the unique identifiers, and go 11111, and then go back. It takes out that 1 and 2. So if you ever get that, it's because somebody has the same unique identifier, and it starts with the division, and then the USPSA number is one of the ones that does that. So. One of the other things I like to do with my iPads is put the pertinent stuff that the ROSO is going to need down here in the home road, like Practiscore, the settings, doing any kind of notes that he needs to do. You tap notes there, and then you can just do notes, and just tap or whatever he needs in there. Just give him a go that way. He's always got a note left over, or so he remind himself of something to talk to the match director about or whatever. Just drop out of that, and you got the time of day. It does display the time of day at the top of the Practiscore, but this is good too. You can do this, set this up for 5, get them all set up for 5 minutes, so you can hit start. You automatically get your 5-minute walkthrough right there. Have a alarm when it gets done. So, kind of handy. Another troubleshooting deal is, say you're on squad 1 and you can't find the guy they're supposed to be in squad 1. You can go to find another shooter. It shows you everybody. There's only 2 squads in this match. And say, all right, you're looking for me to put me in squad 1. You can just tap on that, and it'll say move to squad 1, enter scores, or view my profile. So I want to move that guy to squad 1. Like that. Now I'm in squad 1 on that device. So that comes in handy when you're using one device for multiple stages and stuff, like you would maybe at a club match. Really want to do that at a big match, because you'd have to change every one of your match devices that way. But this comes in handy for moving people around that happen to should be on your squad but isn't. Alright, one of our goals with the troubleshooting in this whole video series is to punch every button this program has. We figured out at the last match is you can actually go in on this, and what we said about registering a new shooter is not as a walk-in is not necessarily true. You can go to your squatting here and then tap and find another shooter. Show you everybody that's in the squad in the match. It'd be a lot longer list if it was others. And you can register a new shooter off of this deal. And if you notice down here, it doesn't say anything about a walk-on. So you can register a new shooter by Just putting him there, and it'll automatically register him in the squad that you were on. Division, let's say he's an open, let's say he's a C-class shooter, and then blah blah blah. So there you go. You notice it already had him in squad number 1. There he is in squad number 1. Gilbert Gant handguard. So that's how you can actually register another shooter in the match without going to a walk-on. We're talking about troubleshooting here. If you have airplane mode on, you'll get this dialog box that comes up and wants to tell you that turn off airplane mode or use Wi-Fi to access data. Anytime it comes up, you just want to tap OK. You don't want to need to access the data. That's for when you're syncing this thing with with your master device type deal. One of the other tips on iPads is they work by sensing your finger on the screen. Kind of works like a plasma ball in a way. Every once in a while you want to rub you take a rag and wipe the face of the iPad down, or wipe it on your shirt or whatever. Keeping it clean is pretty important. Staying hydrated, the drier your fingers are, you'll notice sometimes through my videos I touch it and then touch it again. Doesn't do it, my hands are really dry, so, and sometimes it just doesn't take it like that.